Welcome to Before the Council, a reading of the Revere City Council Agenda for the meeting of Monday, July 14th, 2014. There are 13 items on the agenda this week. Coverage begins at 5 p.m. with the Zoning Committee, chaired by Councilor Stephen Reardon. Also on the committee, Councilor Arthur Guanasso, Councilor Ira Novoselsky, Councilor Charles Patch Sr., and Councilor Richard Penta. They have 3 items on their agenda. Zoning Committee item number 1, pursuant to Council Order C-14-05. This is regarding the application of For Kids Only After School Incorporated, seeking permission to raise and reconstruct a non-conforming structure for the operation of an after-school program in the GB district at number 85 Broadway in Revere. Zoning Committee item number 2, pursuant to Council Order C-14-07. This is regarding Ms. Rachel Ferranti of Revere, Massachusetts, seeking permission to alter a pre-existing non-conforming use for the purpose of operating a dance studio within the RB district at number 225 Beach Street in Revere. Zoning Committee item number 3, pursuant to Council Order CZ-14-01. This is regarding Wakefield Associates Incorporated and their request for an amendment to the City of Revere zoning map as described in the petitioner's plan. At 5:55, we move on to the Appointments Committee meeting chaired by Councilor Arthur Guanasso. Also on that committee is Councilor Jessica Giannino, Councilor Stephen Morabito, Councilor Charles Patch Sr., and Councilor Stephen Reardon. Just one item on their agenda. Pursuant to Council Order 14-144, this is regarding the reappointment of TerraTech Construction Incorporated of Marlborough, Massachusetts, as a licensed drain layer for the City of Revere. Please note that in order for an appointment to be confirmed by the full City Council, the appointee must attend the Appointments Committee meeting. At 6 p.m. we move on to the Revere City Council meeting, which begins with a salute to the flag, the roll call of members, and the approval of the Journal of the Meetings of June 23, 2014, and June 30th, 2014. Then it's on to calendar item number 1. Pursuant to Council Order 12-022, this is a joint utility meeting with Comcast, National Grid, and Verizon to discuss double poles and potholes. Calendar item number 2. Committee reports. First, the Zoning Committee report, and calendar item number 3, the Appointments Committee report. In accordance with the provisions of Rule number 23 of the City Council Rules of Order, the following motion or communication is being reported out of committee with a recommendation that it be placed on file. Calendar item number 4. Pursuant to Council Order 14-063, this is regarding the motion of Councilor Novoselsky relative to DCR traffic signage. The original motion in the City Council on March 24th recommended that the mayor request the DCR commissioner to approve a right lane, right turn only regulation at the intersection of Revere Beach Parkway and Tomasiello Road, and the appropriate signage be posted. Calendar item number 5. This is a communication from the mayor relative to the reappointments of Ms. Kathleen Heiser to the Cultural Council and Mr. Robert Wolfgang and Ms. Rose Napolitano to the Historical Commission. Dated June 30th, 2014. Dear City Council members, I am writing to request that the City Council consider the following reappointments to various boards, commissions, and positions. 1, for reappointment to the Revere Cultural Council for a new 3-year term expiring in July of 2017, Ms. Kathleen Heiser of Revere, Massachusetts. 2, for reappointment to the Historical Commission for a new 3-year term expiring in July of 2017, Mr. Robert Wolfgang of Revere, Massachusetts. And 3, for reappointment to the Historical Commission for a new 3-year term expiring in July of 2017, Ms. Rose Napolitano of Revere, Massachusetts. And it's signed very truly yours, Daniel Rizzo, Mayor of the City of Revere. Calendar item number 6. This is a communication from the Election Commissioner relative to the state primary warrant for September 9th, 2014. Dated June 27th, 2014. Dear Honorable Councilors, enclosed for your review and approval is the warrant for the upcoming state primary on Tuesday, September 9th, 2014. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for your continued support. Respectfully submitted by Diane R. Colella, the Election Commissioner. On Tuesday, the 9th day of September 2014, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the following purpose: to cast their votes in the state primaries for the candidates of political parties for the following offices: Senator in Congress for this Commonwealth, Governor for this Commonwealth, Lieutenant Governor for this Commonwealth, Attorney General for this Commonwealth, Secretary of State for this Commonwealth, Treasurer and Receiver General for this Commonwealth, Auditor for this Commonwealth, Representative in Congress for the 5th District, Counselor for the 6th District, Senator in the General Court, the 1st Suffolk and Middlesex District, Representative in the General Court for the 16th Suffolk District, Representative in the General Court for the 19th Suffolk District, District Attorney for the Suffolk County, and Register of Probate for Suffolk County. Hereof fail not, and make return of this warrant with your doings thereon at the time and place of said voting. You are hereby directed to deliver an attested copy to the precinct wardens, and it's attested to by the City Clerk, Ms. Ashley E. Melnick. Calendar item number 7. This is a communication from the Mayor requesting a transfer in the amount of $29,166 to fund the appeal of the revised FEMA preliminary flood insurance rate maps, dated July 7th, 2014. Dear City Councilors, the City of Revere, as part of a consortium with the City of Boston, the City of Chelsea, and the Town of Winthrop, have come together to appeal the revised FEMA preliminary flood insurance rate maps. As you know, these rate map revisions would have a devastating effect on flood insurance rates and would also have negative implications in attracting future development projects, particularly along our coast. Collectively, we have chosen our consultant, the Woods Hole Group, to undertake the technical evaluation needed to launch an appeal. Thus far, we, Revere, are the only member of this consortium that has not signed the contract and funded our portion. The cost associated with this project is $29,166. If successful, the city will have decreased the financial impacts on over 600 residential and commercial property owners, as well as avoiding a harmful negative impact to our tax base. Therefore, because of the high importance of this project, I am requesting a transfer from the Stabilization Fund to the General Fund Planning and Community Development Contracted Services account. I, along with Frank Stringy and Chief Eugene Doherty, will be available to answer any questions you may have. Please note that any delay in the approval of this request will reduce the time period needed to formulate an appeal. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation in this matter. Very truly yours, Daniel Rizzo, Mayor of the City of Revere. Calendar item number 8. This is a communication from the Mayor relative to amendments to the Wonderland TOD legislation, dated July 10th, 2014. Dear Council members, I am submitting draft legislation for enactment by the Massachusetts Legislature, which would modify existing legislation with respect to the transit-oriented development, that is TOD, at Wonderland Station. The current legislation, as memorialized in Chapter 841 of the Acts of 1975, Chapter 877 of the Acts of 1977, and Chapter 183 of the Acts of 2011, has resulted in 2 issues which we seek to address in the draft legislation. First, The proceeds from the sale of the so-called North Lot and the DCR Maintenance Lot are reserved solely for the design and construction of a replacement DCR maintenance facility and cannot be used for any other purposes. Any proceeds not utilized for the design and construction of a replacement DCR maintenance facility revert to the Commonwealth's General Fund. The draft legislation will broaden the uses to which the sale proceeds may be committed and will allow excess proceeds to be used to offset the city's expenses related to the purchase and sale of the North Lot and the DCR Maintenance Lot, costs of other public improvements to the Revere Beach Reservation, costs of other public improvements in connection with the transit-oriented development at Wonderland Station, and costs in connection with the promotion of the city's master plan for the transit-oriented development at Wonderland Station. Second, the current legislature permitted the city to enter into a 99-year air rights lease with the MBTA for the so-called Parcel H and to pay the MBTA annual rent payments. The city entered into such a ground lease in 2011 and expects to assign the air rights lease to Eurovest Development Incorporated as the city's designated redeveloper for the Wonderland TOD once Eurovest is prepared to commence construction of a full-service hotel and/or office building on Parcel H. However, Eurovest has reported that market conditions dictate that a developer must have fee ownership of Parcel H in order to develop a full-service hotel and/or an office building on Parcel H. The draft legislation will authorize the MBTA to convey Parcel H to the city at a sale price equal to the capitalized value of the air rights lease and for the city to convey the property to the redeveloper. As I have previously reported to you, the city is moving forward aggressively to realize an exciting transit-oriented development at Wonderland Station. The enactment of this proposed legislation will help facilitate this development. I urge your speedy adoption of this measure. Thank you. Very truly yours, Daniel Rizzo, Mayor of the City of Revere. Calendar item number 9. This is a communication from the Mayor relative to fiscal year 2014 final year-end transfer request, dated July 11th, 2014. Dear members of the Council, in June, I requested transfers for accounts that were projected to have deficits. If you recall, I had brought to your attention that additional requests would be forthcoming to cover any additional anticipated deficits for fiscal year 2014. Therefore, I am requesting from your honorable body the approval of transfers to cover these deficits from appropriated accounts with surplus balances as of June 30th, 2014. These transfers are necessary to fund the shortfall in the accounts listed. Verification of funds has been prepared by the city auditor. Beginning with the accounts that are in need of transfers to cover deficits, the assessor's overtime account is a result of a long-term medical leave. The collector-treasurer's overtime account is a result of delayed staff hiring and additional staffing needs for computer software upgrades. Workers' compensation account is estimated at the time the budget is prepared and submitted to the Council for approval. In fiscal year 2014, this expense was higher than anticipated given a number of unforeseen injuries within various departments. The solicitor's litigation, legal release/settlement, and its outside legal fees accounts are in deficit due to unforeseen legal cases and settlements. The fire department overtime is a result of variable staffing needs with the increase and decrease of staff based on retirements, injuries, etc. The police overtime is higher this year due to a number of unanticipated staffing injuries and increased citywide community policing and training needs. The labor force salaries account, the labor force overtime, and the senior citizens park maintenance deficits are due to unanticipated staffing injuries and/or the need to hire temporary staff or backfill. The sick leave buyback account deficit is due to the retirement of a long-term employee. The accounts that are projected to have a surplus are as follows. The Director of Finance treasurer collector permanent salary is attributed to the delayed timing of filling staff positions. Medicare taxes can fluctuate based on timing of filling positions and the retirements, etc. In the fire department, these surpluses are a result of members not qualifying for the benefit during the current fiscal year. The police department surpluses can be attributable to members not qualifying for the benefit during the current fiscal year, and the needs of the department varies with regard to costs to support the medical costs of injured police officers. The DPW surpluses are attributable cost and need fluctuations. Trash removal is essentially a fixed cost, although in certain years, which are difficult to project, some of these costs may vary, resulting in surplus. This is true for electricity use and rates. Finally, there are additional deficits which have been identified specifically in the DPW snow removal private contractor account and in the solicitor's execution accounts. The expectation is that the balance of these two deficits will be covered as charges on the FY 2015 recap. I am respectfully requesting the transfers. It is of utmost importance that these transfers are voted on favorably before the end of this fiscal year. A favorable vote will ensure that the end-of-year financial statements of the city will not reflect any deficits. Sincerely, Daniel Rizzo, Mayor of the City of Revere. Calendar item number 10. This is a communication from Mr. Edward Stuckles relative to number 21 Ellerton Street. Calendar item number 11. Pursuant to Council Order 14-161, this is a motion presented by Councilor Powers that the Mayor requests Verizon to relocate the pole in front of number 110 Oak Island Street. In its present location, the pole obstructs the driveway of the residents. Calendar item number 12, pursuant to Council Order 14-162, this is a motion presented by Councilor Morabito that the Mayor request Mr. Raymond Fosher of the DCR to repair the broken lights on pole numbers 22, 44, and 45 on Revere Beach Boulevard. And calendar item number 13, pursuant to Council Order 14-163, this is a motion presented by Councilor Novoselsky that the Mayor request National Grid to install a floodlight facing the American Legion building on pole number 505/2534J on Hyde Street across from City Hall. And this has been before the Council. A reading of the Revere City Council Agenda for the meeting of Monday, July 14th, 2014. I'm Rick Promise, and I'll see you at the Council.